Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder it is time to have a look at some of the changelogs which have happened over the last week, and the reason for this is there has been some quite interesting changes, and also I wanted to give out a little bit more information about World War Mode. Obviously World War Mode is coming, it's going to be here on the 1st of July, so you don't have too long to prepare for it, and the main thing that I wanted to point out, because it seems like when I'm streaming on Twitch, you can find a link in the description to that, a lot of people have questions about how does it work, or because this is their first season, and a lot of Xbox players who obviously didn't have access to it before, who are coming, they need more information since maybe there isn't as much media out there about it. The best place to have a look is the War Thunder Wiki. The War Thunder Wiki itself has some great resources when it comes to learning about how World War Mode works, and if you want to just have a look at the video guides and nothing else, then you'll be able to learn a lot about it. There's also just a ton of different pages when it comes to how missions work, when it comes to how ratings are calculated, when it comes to general participation for the individual player or for the commander, depending on what you want to do. You can even see all of the different scenarios which happen when it comes to missions on the actual battlefield. Unfortunately, it seems right now it hasn't been updated for the new season, but you can still get a rough idea of what is going to happen going forward. Hopefully this is updated in the next few days, so therefore we can get to see what helicopter battles do and all of that good stuff. So yeah, it's a great resource, the War Thunder Wiki, not just for stuff such as World War Mode, but it's also great for other stuff if you want to learn about the matchmaking rules that are in the game, how game modes work, currency and research points. This has been heavily modified over the last year or so to become an amazing tool for the average player to understand what is going on in the game, and I think it should be credited for that, and therefore I would definitely say go and have a look. If you generally have a question about the game, this is one of the places to go and just have a look, like search, in the wiki a specific phrase and then go start reading, or you could just ask me and then I'll try and give you the best answer as possible. So let's get into the changes that are happening this week, or already happened I should say, in War Thunder. The first one is a server update on the 22nd, user-made sighting reticles. So now you can specify several vehicles or even whole vehicle classes for which a custom reticle can be applied. So if you go to the wiki once again, it actually tells you how to set up a user-made site and also creating a reticle template for multiple vehicles. So this was something that is new, which definitely wasn't there before. So if you like a specific Stug, let's say reticle, then you could put it on all of your tank destroyers, or if you like a specific light tank one, you could put it on all of your light tanks. The place where you get the sighting reticles, there we go, is War Thunder Live, and pretty much what you can do is you can go here, you can go to sites, and then it will show you all of the different sites that many people use. Obviously I've got it sorted by popular, but if you are on PC and you want to give it a go, I would strongly recommend just having a bit of fun with it, because why not, why not have a little bit of interest when it comes to all of this stuff. You can go to all time as well. You can see here you've got a realistic gun sight for the German vehicles, which is really cool, realistic and semi-realistic sights for the Russian vehicles, so you can get some which are incredibly good for dealing with certain stuff such as this, like the sorting out parallax in the game, or you can get some really cool realistic sights. So make sure to check this out if you didn't know how to do it. Make sure to read this article here, which will give you the tips in order to add them in, and now they've given in more functionality to it, so you can add it to more than one vehicle at once, which is awesome. The next one is update 1.99.0.76. This was a bunch of bug fixes, which is nice to see. A bug on the PS4 and Xbox One when the multifunctional menu axis had disappeared from the interface after selecting the keyboard plus mouse control preset. reset or after resetting the controls has been fixed. So that's nice, because it's never fun that once you change something, it affects a bunch of other things. It's a general problem when it comes to programming, where once you screw with one part of the system, the whole thing seems to shift, let's say, one way or the other. So hopefully that has been fixed. A bug on the PS4 occurring when the DS4 was disabled, I'm guessing that is DualShock 4, where it wasn't possible to rotate the camera with a mouse in the hanger, has been fixed. Once again, good old functionality. If you are on console, by the way, I do recommend getting yourself a cheap mouse and keyboard. You will massively feel the difference in playing War Thunder, and generally a mouse and keyboard will be around $20 nowadays. You can get a cheap keyboard for $10 and a mouse for $10. You don't need crazy expensive, peripherals, whatever you want to call them, to be able to experience War Thunder in a slightly better way. As a person who has an Xbox controller and has played War Thunder on an Xbox controller, it is rough. It is definitely not easy to do. So yeah, I would just recommend at least trying it out with a mouse and keyboard. A rare client crash on PS4 occurring while using a joystick has been fixed. That's good. Now in VR mode, the cursor will not disappear when opening the tactical menu. Well, that's good for those 5 people who play VR. They have now the ability to see what they're doing, which is wonderful. A rare client crash which would occur when displaying the hit camera has been fixed. Oh god, can you imagine that? A rare client crash which would occur when using the in-game browser has been fixed. Now, I ran into that a few times, where what I would do is I would load into a battle, I would hit the browser, and then bang, the game would just kill itself. So luckily, at least from my point of view, that's been fixed. That's lovely to see. Now, on the preview window of a squadron vehicle, the price of the vehicle will be displayed in GE. Good stuff. More information is power, especially when it's easier to see. The TU-14T. Oh, by the way, so if you are interested in researching the squadron vehicles, let's say that you don't have a squadron and you are looking for one in order to be able to grind these squadron vehicles. The squadron to do so, and what I'm going to push you towards, is CLAS2, Class 2. The reason for this is because the squadron is the one which is officially affiliated with the Tech Hub, which is of course the official Discord of, well, me, and it's a wonderful little squadron, and it's looking for members in order to grow, and also, get your squadron points when it comes to these vehicles. So why not, we already have, Techies and Tech WS, which are getting ready for World War mode. There's also Class, which is doing really well too. So if you are interested and you haven't, and you're not in a squadron, please join Class 2. That's CLAS2. Just go find them in the game in the squadron tab and click apply, and you'll get in there. The main reason why is I talked to a lot of people on streams over the last few days who are not in squadrons, and they're just not getting squadron battle point. They're not getting squadron vehicle RP at all. And there is, if you just join a squadron and you just play normally, then you get free squadron RP towards those vehicles. It makes the most sense just to be in a squadron and just to play, while you're in a squadron in order to get these squadron vehicles. If you're not in a squadron, you're just kind of hurting yourself when it comes to the content of War Thunder. So what I would say to you is join Class 2 so you can get a piece of these squadron vehicles if you're not in a squadron. So yeah. The TU-14T rear turret aiming angles have been changed according to technical specifications. Well, hopefully that means they're a bit more accurate. The MB-174A3, the position of the pilot's head relative to the aiming sight has been improved. Well, that's good. Hopefully it makes more sense. The H-1G, the ammo cartridge capacity of the M129 grenade launcher has been changed from 231 to 300. That's quite a big buff, especially since it seems like a lot of people are using them in Ground RB right now, and that grenade launcher can be very annoying once the rockets run out on those machines. The BMP-2M, the sound of the AGS-17 grenade launcher has been changed so that it sounds authentic, like it does in real life. So it doesn't sound like a it doesn't sound like a normal machine gun. The sound of explosions when contact is made with a target has been added for low caliber HE shells and AGS-17 grenades. Good stuff. I'm sure it sounds wonderful. The weather conditions have been corrected in all night missions. Now there will always be a moon and clear weather. So, I went from stock to spaded in the T-72A. Okay. I had a really fun time with it. The T-72A is a pretty fun vehicle. It has a lot of bells and whistles to it, and especially in a down tier, you can bully. In an up tier, you are still good. You know, you're still useful. So, and there are a few ideas that I personally found. The first one is American players are crazy aggressive at top tier, and what I mean is their playstyle. They just fly around the map and hope for the best, and I don't know, it's just really easy just to kind of sit there and just watch them all fly through and then just pop them one after the other, like bang, bang, bang. The other thing when it came to it was you can get night battles even if you have no mods unlocked. I was running a T-72A, a T-64A, and a T-62M. All of these were pretty much stock. None of them had MVDs, none of them had any night vision equipment, none of them had thermals or anything like that, and I was getting into night battles. So there was literally no chance for me to be able to see. I couldn't do anything. I was just in the dark against stuff with thermals. Whether they be premium or not, I can't do anything because the whole thing was pitch black. So it seems like their solution to this is that there'll always be a moon and clear weather, which does definitely help with visibility in night battles, but it still doesn't make them fun. Because imagine if you are a new player to any game. Imagine if you decided to pick up Valorant, right? Imagine if you decided to start playing Dota 2, and every 5th to 10th battle, your screen was dark, and there's nothing you could do about it. And the only time you could see anything is when somebody casted an ability or somebody shot. That was my experience in night battles. I had, when I started playing the T-72, I had 6 battles, and 3 of them were night battles. That was my first experience in that machine. And then there was actually one night where we got 3 night battles in a row, and I turned off the stream and went to bed. Because I didn't have any night vision equipment. I couldn't do anything. I was just blind for 3 battles straight. Now imagine in any other game that being acceptable. It's not. It never would be acceptable. But for some reason in War Thunder it is, because you have people who have stuff such as thermals and they can just run around and bully everyone else. What happens in every single one of the night battles that I play is there is 1 or 2 people on either team, generally something like a CV90-105, or an M1A2, or something like a T80U, which bullies the enemy team. And that's it. That's all that happens. So you end up with 5 or 6 people, or 10 people doing absolutely nothing, and then you have 1 or 2 who get like 6 kills between them. And that's both teams, and then it's who out of each team is able to push forward and win. That's it. It's not a fun experience. It wasn't even a fun experience once I got the night vision devices, because I still just would get popped across the map by people with thermals. So, yeah, not too good. I actually got to a point, to make it more interesting, turning on the UV light, or the IR light, and just running around and seeing if I could spot people and getting them to shoot, because it seemed to spook them, which was kind of fun. But at the same time, it wasn't it wasn't overall an enjoyable experience. So yeah, it's nice to see that they've changed this. Hopefully this does mean that it will be less dark in battles, but my advocation is just to remove them completely, just because I think it is insane to think that just every X map, you know, every let's say 10th map, you are just blind. No other game would accept that. I don't think War Thunder should accept it either. The next server update is on the 26th, and it's a pretty simple one. A bug where shells fired from machine guns and cannons, weapon mounted on helicopters, might fly through buildings and their surroundings has been fixed. So there you go. Now physical projectiles from helicopters will be not just flying through everything. I wonder if they actually affected stuff through things or if it was just normal stuff. So yeah. Well, we'll have to see when it comes to it. I think personally, stuff like this is always nice. They've done a lot of stuff with tracers the last few weeks, and at least when I played Naval, you know, the last week to get the Italian decal, definitely felt the difference when it came to being able to see shots coming in. So just having more direct information, more realistic information is good, so this is obviously a positive change. Anyway, that is the changelogs of the last week. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Battling Bacon, Blackie, Chris Giltnane, Conte Baraka, Daniel Stanton, Elove Goat, Jay Wilt, Martinez, Trigger Hippie, Universe, Eugens Terry, and also I'm Devilish and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.